This time on KEI Fabrication. Hey folks, if you remember when I was messing around with the alignment fixture, I had 3D printed a axle end alignment tool because the Ranger rear end and the other passenger car rear ends have a small bearing for the 28 spline axles. The 31 spline axles has a larger diameter. I ran up to the scrapyard and I bought some slugs, and it's 6061 T6 aluminum, and it is, I think I paid $8 for all of these, which is pretty reasonable. I've got material here to make this axle end out of it, and I've got another one here to make a couple other styles if necessary when the time comes. So today we're going to do this one. I'm just getting ready to change the jaws over from the internal type jaws to the external type jaws. So these are all numbered. You got to put them in the right slot. So this is number 1. And it goes counterclockwise. Number 2 and number 3. And it is kind of a trick to get all these to engage properly. Let's see how we make out. So I've got it chucked up in the lathe. I checked it for run out, and now I'm doing the first face just to square it up, and then I'll flip it over. So I've still got a little piece to clean up here, so we'll put that back in, make another pass, get my homemade digital readout here set up so I can check my depth of cut. Here we go. So I've got a good smooth clean surface there, so get rid of some of these chips, and we'll throw a quick chamfer on the outside edge, and then we'll continue on from there. So what I'm going to do here, while it's all chucked up and that face is nice and clean, I'm going to throw a center drill in there. That way when I go to start putting my hole through the middle, I know I'm as close to the center of this as possible. So what we got here is we've got the first face all cleaned up. I cleaned up the OD to the length that I'm going to use, and now we're boring the ID. The ID for the alignment shaft for the rear end fixture has a diameter of 1.625. I just passed the 1-inch mark, so I got another 300 to remove on the radius, and then we'll fine tune it from there. Okay folks, we're putting the finish cut on the inside diameter bore. We're just going with 1 or 2 thousandths clearance from the turned, ground, and polished alignment shaft, and then we'll work on the outside diameter. Well, there we have it folks. ID and OD is finished. It's got the little step flange on here, so when it bottoms out on the axle tube, this will register on the axle bearing itself. This will register on the alignment bar. So here's a 3D printed version. I chose to put a little thicker shoulder on the aluminum one. There's the aluminum one. It fits on the turn, ground, and polished shaft just nice. And I actually put the axle bearings back in the rear end, so I won't be able to check that fit, but according to the micrometer, it should fit just fine. So this took a while. I got a whole bucket of aluminum shavings, and but it's another tool to make the rear end narrowing fixture a little more complete. So when I get the axles back out and I'm aligning the rear end, this will be my best friend as far as aligning the axle tube with the carrier bearings on the housing itself. If anybody's got any questions about this lathe, you can always comment and I'll answer you back. This is an old South Bend lathe. It came out of an electric motor starter and alternator rebuild shop. I think it was bought brand new by the old owner back in the 50s. It's a South Bend, like I said. It's got the optional extra long bed on it, and it came with a steady rest and all the gears to change speeds and feeds. It does not have the quick change feed and speed here. It's belt driven. It's got the optional RPMs here, here, and here, and as well as back. So the only thing I had to do for this motor, it had this lathe, is it had a 3-phase on it. When I got it, I put a single-phase motor on it, and I paid $250 for the lathe 25 years ago. Next time on KEI Fabrication, the only thing that's preventing me from making this a drivable situation is my production version of these made out of 4140 has to be done on a CNC lathe, and I need to find a machine shop that has that capacity. So I'm looking forward to working with somebody to do that, and I'm really looking forward to getting this big brakes on the front